Let's make a meatball sub, the bread for a hoagie. So let's go ahead and get started on this. Now we're going to need 1 1/4 cups of water. It's about 95 to 100 degrees Fahrenheit. So we're good there. I'm going to go ahead and we've got a tablespoon of sugar and 2 teaspoons of salt. I'm going to put that in there. We're going to take 1 packet or 1 tablespoon of self-rising yeast. Put that in the water. We'll give that a mix. So while that's setting to the side, we've got 2 tablespoons of unsalted room temperature butter. Go ahead and put that in here. Ready? All right. Now we're going to take that time while the yeast is rising. We're going to cut that butter into the flour. All right. So we're going to mix our dry mix in. We're going to put our dry mix in the mixing bowl. A little spillage. It's close. Okay. Now we're going to raise this back up. Turn our mixer on. We're going to add in our yeast. Okay. Now we're going to let this go. I don't know, it might be 8 minutes, 9 minutes until it's get a nice, firm, elastic ball, and we'll take that out and proof it. So we have our dough out. It's kind of what it looks like. Now we're going to take some cooking spray. We're going to spray the inside of our bowl. We're going to take our bread out. It smells really good. So we're going to kind of get it into a little ball. Best you can. I'm not really a baker, but it's just kind of fun. The camera lady says that baking is an exact science, and nothing I do in the kitchen is an exact science. So hopefully this turns out okay. I think that it will. But so we're going to drop that in the bowl. We're going to let that proof for about an hour at room temperature. We're going to cover it in some saran wrap. Okay, so I've covered it in saran wrap. Now I'm going to go ahead and spray the top of the saran wrap and then flip it over. So that way, the bread, when it rises, it won't get stuck to the saran wrap. So go ahead and let this little guy sit over there by itself for about an hour, and we'll come back and see what it looks like. All right, so what I have here, I have a pound of ground chuck. I have 1 pound of sausage. I'll break that up, put it in there. And I have 1 1/4 cup of Italian breadcrumbs. 4 gold nuggets, also known as eggs. So we can crack these. There's 1, 2, 3. Nice thing about using this, you don't have to worry about breaking the yolk. So 4. All right. So there's our meat, our eggs, and our breadcrumbs. Now I've got to chop up some garlic to put in there and some cheese, and we'll be ready to make some meatballs. Here we got it. Okay. After you get this diced, just take your knife and smash it. You don't want any big chunks in there. Alright. It breaks down when it cooks. So 4 cloves of garlic in the pool. Now a 1/2 cup of fresh Parmesan Reggiano. See it stamped right there? You know it's the real thing. Don't buy any of that pre-processed stuff. We went with a cup of freshly grated Parmesan. Toss that in there. Now, I'm going to get in there and give it a good mix. Sprigs of parsley. We're just going to cut the tips off of them. Alright. Toss that in. Now, the last ingredient is some Italian seasoning. You can do this to taste, but I'm going to try to put about 1/2 of a tablespoon. Okay. Give that a mix, get that all mixed in together. Okay. Just take a little bit of meat in your hand, about the size of a ping pong ball or a golf ball maybe. I guess you can make them whatever size you want, but this is the size we're going with today. I've got some garlic in there. I'm going to add a generous amount of olive oil. I like to get that garlic flavor infused into the olive oil. We'll let that cook for 4 or 5 minutes, and then we'll go ahead and start putting the meatballs in. All right, so we have our beautiful meatballs. They're not all the same size. I'm sorry, I can't help it. I've got some garlic infused olive oil. I'm going to go ahead and start dropping these little guys in here and let them start cooking up. You want to just fry them on both sides, and then we'll put the sauce in, and they can cook the rest of the way through. Now when they're sauteed, they won't be cooked all the way through the middle, so they're not like you can't eat them as an appetizer at that point. Okay, you can see they're nice and crusty. Now I don't do all sides, I just do the top and the bottom, and then we'll put the sauce in with it after they cook a little bit longer. But that's kind of what they're supposed to look like. Little nuggets of goodness, little balls of flavor, whatever you want to call them. They're going to be really, really good. Hopefully Grandma Mary will be happy with the way these turned out. Our meatballs here, they're good. Now I'm going to go ahead and spoon some of the sauce in here just because I can't pour it out of this thing. I don't want to make a giant mess, any more of a mess than I've already made. Looks like Julia Childs has been in the kitchen. So let's go ahead and spoon this over. To have any good meatball hoagie, need some good bread. So this bread, we made it, it's proofed. We're going to knock it down. Oh, there's something so satisfying about messing with bread. Now we're going to take it out.
I'd rather eat it than mess with it.
And we're going to eat it here in a little while. So Kimberly likes bread a lot. So we're going to go ahead and take this, make it into a little ball. I'm going to cut it in half. Just kind of want to roll these out a little bit to kind of make it look like a sub bun, you know, like a submarine sandwich bun. Kind of roll. Okay, we've got this one rolled out. We're going to go ahead and place it on some parchment paper. We're going to do next. We're just going to put a hole. We're going to slice it right down the middle. I'm not sure how this is going to turn out. Like I said, I'm no bread maker, but I couldn't find any good buns at any of the stores, so I figured I'd just make my own. We'll give it a whirl. Last but not least, we're going to throw some shredded Parmesan cheese on it and let that proof up. Actually, we're going to let it proof up and then we'll add the cheese. We're going to take a damp cloth and lay it over top. Let it take a little nap for about a half an hour, and we'll come back and see what it looks like. All right, now I'm just going to give this a stir. Get all this sauce incorporated in here. All right, we're just going to go ahead and let this go for about an hour or so. All right, here's your bread. Now, as I said, I'm not a baker, obviously. This thing looks like it's got a growth on the side of it. I don't know what's going on. But I'm going to go ahead and shred some cheese on this one. This one, the camera lady says no cheese on. That's the one she wants. So I'm going to go ahead and shred some fresh Parmesan. So I've got my oven preheated at 400. I'm going to go ahead and put it in. All right, got the bread out. Check this baby out. I didn't do too bad. Nice and crusty. All that cheese on top. I'm going to go ahead and I let it cool down a little bit. It was hotter than the surface of the sun. So I'm going to go ahead and give it a cut. I'm going to move this one out of the way. It did pretty good. So I'm going to go ahead and I want to use this piece here. Go ahead and split this open. Now, when you cut through it, don't cut all the way through it. Just about halfway. You're going to fold that over like this. Exactly. Now, this is going to be, I'm going to cut a little bit of this out just so I have some place to put the meatballs. Take some of this bread out. Oh, mama, it's hot. Camera lady said that's the best part. She's probably right. But now, I'm going to go ahead and stick this in the broiler. I'm using the same parchment paper that I used on when I baked it, just so I don't waste any. I'm going to go ahead and throw this in the broiler, let it crust up just a little bit, and then we'll build the sandwich. All right, so I'm going to make a little olive oil with some basil in it to brush on the bread when it comes out. Okay, this has gotten a little crusty, so we're going to take our paste and we're going to brush it on. Or you could add the basil later, however you want to do it. No rules. Next thing I like to do, where I'm going to put my meatballs, I like to put some cheese down so it doesn't go all the way through, like it doesn't go through the bread, the sauce and stuff. So I like to put this on there just to give it a little bit of insurance so it doesn't go all the way through. Now, we're going to go ahead and build our sandwich here. This pan just came out of the broiler, so I can't really touch it, so I moved it over here. So all right, so we're going to, with the meatballs, I'm going to throw one. So it made a little ditch in there for the meatballs, you can kind of see. I didn't cut my bread right. I should have cut, this should have been thicker, but oh well, is what it is. Got one more. I think that'll probably do it. What do you think, camera lady? 3 is enough? We'll jam one more right there. Okay. Now we're going to take a little bit of marinara sauce. Now some more cheese. So I've got some mozzarella, or mozzarella as they say. Now we're going to put this back in the broiler, let that melt, and we're going to give it a taste. Now last, a little more freshly grated Parmesan cheese, Parmesan Reggiano, and then we'll top it off a little more basil. And we're going to we're going to give this thing a cut. Let's give it a look inside, see what it looks like. Meatball subs are always messy, but damn, they are good. Look at this beautiful cheese. Let's go in for a bite. Wow, man. This is a meal in a bun for sure. Taste that marinara sauce, those fresh made meatballs, all that cheese, fresh bread. Yeah, this is well worth the time and effort it took to make it. And I feel like I have stuff all over my face, but I'm sorry. So I hope you liked this video. I appreciate all you guys watching, supporting us, all the comments. If you haven't subscribed, please hit that like and subscribe button and check out some of our other videos. We'll see you next time. Thank you.